Hello everyone and welcome to Nocturnal Horrors. My name is Sean Nazarol and this is going to be more of just a reaction as opposed to a review, but I'm just so excited to talk about Psycho 3 and I just want to get right into it and start vomiting at the mouth. Let's go. Under the helm of Anthony Perkins, Psycho 3 thrives in characterization, style, theme, writing, acting, everything compared to its predecessor, Psycho 2. Honestly, I was absolutely shocked by how much I love this movie. Psycho 2 was kind of goofy in all of its plots, twists, and some of its all-out 80s-ness, for lack of a better word. Psycho 2 also had a taste of the sacrilegious in terms of what they did with Norma Bates. Mother is mother and always has been mother, and Psycho 3 writes that atrocity in the best ways possible. What I really love about Psycho 3 is that it is all about Norman Bates and Anthony Perkins in every single way. While staying within his mommy issues, we got back to his themes of psychological abuse, sexual repression, confusion, loneliness, trust, overall mental stability, and even his love for taxidermy. We even get back to a Marion Crane. We have a Norman Bates that doesn't talk and talk and talk and talk like in Psycho 2. Every single second it's mother this and mother that, and it's so over the top and ridiculous. In Psycho 3, we go back to the Norman Bates that was. The man who is shy and unsure of himself, even in his older age. And Perkins delivers Norman with subtleties in the way he looks at something, the way he moves up the stairs with one of his legs slightly tilted inwards, and the way he eats. You remember how he eats, right? Like a bird? I mean, come on. Yes, there are outlandish moments too, but this is the Norman Bates that always was. He's the one we came to see in Psycho 2 some 20 years later and never got. Psycho 3 is an absolute blessing. And as great as Perkins was as Norman Bates, it's his direction that actually really blew me away. We already knew he could be Bates, right? We already knew he had that in him. But directorial debut? He picks those perfect moments to do the shaky camera, or the setup shots to emphasize the Bates Motel and not just the house. The tones, moods, and colors of the house and motel that brings up the same tones as religious paintings of yesteryear, with soft browns, reds, and yellows. And the shots of Mother are so perfect with its camera angles and silhouetted faces until it's time to get more. It's the way you think you know what's going to happen when it comes to an important kill, and yet the screenwriter flips the script completely, and it doesn't become a kill at all, but rather an opportunity for Norman, and for Maureen. Marion Crane, MC. The bringer of death becomes the savior, at least for the time being. He becomes a religious figure, resurrected. No, not Jesus, but Mary of sorts, because after all, Norman isn't just a man now, is he? Psycho 2 relies way too much on plot and someone else's story. Yes, I know the original Psycho does start out as someone else's story, but it becomes Norman in its entirety. In Psycho 2, Vera Miles' character drives plot and emotions and character, but that's not why we see the Psycho sequels. We come for Norman. Psycho 3 puts the ball back in Norman's slight, skinny, scarred hands with absolute perfection. And Anthony Perkins makes sure we know exactly where Norman Bates comes from. Psycho 2 had a big title card thanking Alfred Hitchcock for what he gave us in the original Psycho, but Anthony Perkins, as the star and director of the third film, gave us small homages and tips of the hat to the classic, which was a far superior way of saying thank you to Sir Alfred Hitchcock. Perkins lets us know that he knows and understands his audience. He knows what we want because it's the same thing he wants. He wants to see Mother up close and personal. He wants the same rear screen projection, the overhead shots, the head tilt down with a smile, and breaking that fourth wall. damn if I don't love when he breaks that fourth wall. I love this film. I love that Norman Bates isn't always running away from Mother. I love it that Mother is so far from stationary. I love the icky scene with the blood and ice. I love that it takes its time getting to Norman and developing the themes. I love Carter Burwell's soundtrack. I love how uncomfortable scenes with Norman and Maureen make me. I love it for the douchebag character that Jeff Fahey plays to perfection. I mean, he's always been the lawnmower man to me, and that's about it. And to see him in a role like this and having such presence was remarkable. It's a complete 180 in style and ambiance to Norman and to Maureen's struggle with her faith and how his edgy, over-sexualized, raw personality contrasts so well with Norman's. Now don't get me wrong, there are definitely issues with this movie, and there are questionable actions taking place throughout. It's not the best horror movie or horror sequel out there, obviously, but you know what it is? It's the perfect ode to the original Psycho. It's a film that knows where it comes from and knows why people are intrigued by the main character. The film lies in the hands of someone who we can tell has a deep love for the material and its creators. I love Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates. I love Anthony Perkins as a director. I love Psycho 3.